Pack 605-277-3729, your number one recruiter, drywall, metal stud framing, specialty contracting recruiter in the country. Again, as I say every day, Shaun and I work with companies all over the country. Our main focus is Division 9 drywall, metal stud framing, commercial painting, industrial coatings, waterproofing, concrete restoration, main focus. But we also have a team that works with HVAC, electrical, roofing, civil construction, heavy highway type of stuff. And anyway, I want to come on this morning and I want to tell you that it's so funny because as we were talking yesterday, we got basically got 3 people hired yesterday. And what happened as a result of that is that there was companies that were disappointed because they didn't get the candidate that they wanted. So it's funny. That's the way it works. So I'll just give an example. I was talking to a company owner down in Florida, and we got a candidate hired down there, and he had interviewed the candidate and they didn't mesh, or he didn't jump on quite quick enough, or whatever the reason was. But nonetheless, he was basically begging me, just saying, "Man, I really need this. I really need a candidate just like the person that you just brought me." And as a result, I got a brand new, it was not really brand new, but it's really kind of an expanded job order. So I'm working with a company down on the Gulf Coast, might be called the Gold Coast, down in Florida. And their reach extends all the way up to Orlando, all the way down to Sarasota, Tampa Bay, Lakeland area, Clearwater area. So they all the way down to Sarasota, all the way up to Orlando, and every place in between. And what they're looking for right now is they're looking for a project manager. This is commercial drywall, metal stud framing. They're looking for a project manager that is currently working in the area, local to the market. Now, some people are looking for relocators. This company is not. They want somebody in the market, in the area. Now, the culture of this drywall company is so attractive to me. I think it's a fantastic culture. It's the kind of place I would love to work. So as the owner described it to me, he just described it as completely laid back. I want you to understand, I'm not doing false advertising here. We go into the office to work, obviously, but the culture in the office is laid back. Unless you're meeting with clients, he said shorts, flip-flops, polo shirts are the order of the day. I mean, that's how people go when they dress. It's kind of an open work area. It's collaborative, people working together. But the cool thing is that the project manager position has the ability basically to leverage the relationships that you've developed over the years, whether it be in Sarasota, the Gold Coast, Tampa, Orlando, Lakeland, all points in between, to leverage those relationships that you've had over the years, and bring in new contracts for this company is what they're looking for. They're not saying, oh, you need to go steal the contracts from your other contractors. That's not what they're talking about. But what they're looking for is somebody that has relationships with GCs and companies throughout the central and west coast area of Florida, where you can leverage those relationships and grow those relationships to a point where you can leverage those relationships to a point where you can win bonuses. So it's extremely cool position. Now, when you leverage those relationships and you go out and win a drywall metal stud framing contract, that is uh, what's unique to this company, and many companies do it differently, and the way that they do it is kind of odd. Not really odd, but basically the way that this company does it is unique. Most companies wait until they say go out, sign a contract, and let's say it's a $1 million contract.
Whoa, hey Johnny, what's
Hey,
up?
I'm right in the middle of a presentation here. Hold on
Great.
just a second. So, most companies, when they're out there, and Shaun will agree with me, wait till the end of the year, or they quarterly or semi-annually do bonuses after the profit and loss is already all figured out and everything else. This company is unique in that they give you a bonus based upon a signed contract. So if you go out and sign a $1 million contract, it's a 1% bonus. Shaun, what's that math? That's a $10,000 check, right? If you can
Cash
do
money.
that immediately, right
Yeah,
in your
so
head.
if you just sign like a $300,000 contract,
1% is
that's $3,000. It's $3,000. Oh,
$3,000. So really, really cool company, great culture, laid back. They work hard, play hard, good work-life balance, as well as a willingness to be flexible as far as office hours. They're not going to require your butt to be in the chair from 8 to 5 every single day. There's even some potential for the ability to work remotely part of the time. So this company's looking. If you're interested, if you're in Orlando, Sarasota, Lakeland, all points in between, Clearwater, Tampa Bay, all points in between, give me a call today, 605-277-3729, or give Shaun a call, 605-809-8512. Shaun, what are you working on today? I know you've been busy.
well, Johnny, I
you
know.
look kind of short there. Can you move up to the camera a little bit?
Dude, I got this chair and it leans back a little bit. Well, we've been hanging. We just hung probably 3 deals in the last week, and so I'm in the process of checking some references. We've already checked quite a few references, but sometimes candidates don't like to give information on current, of current, if they work with somebody, they like to wait till they put in their notice to use someone as a reference. So as you know, that's what some of the things that I'm working on. But as far as, it's the same old thing right now. We desperately need commercial drywall estimators and project managers almost anywhere throughout the country. But if you're in North Carolina, South Carolina, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Florida is hot. Even California seems to be doing well. And I will tell you guys this, I am seeing the Chicagoland area pick up quite a bit. And this is in just my little tiny world of drywall. When I started close to 7 years ago, Chicago was like the first market that I ever really worked. And I love working in the Midwest. But the pandemic seemed to have a pretty major effect on our industry. Commercial drywall. It just seemed like a lot of companies were not hiring. We made some placements in Chicago, throughout the last year and a half, but it wasn't anything crazy. But now I've got my clients who I've been working with for 3, 4, 5, 6 years are calling me again. And man, like I love it. Chicago seems to be picking up. And, so it's time for me to go back home. I call it, Chicagoland is kind of like my recruiting home.
Well, and Shaun, here's the thing: is that you're mentioning about looking at references and stuff like that, and mentioning hot areas. What is it that's good about having a recruiter versus going online and putting your open to work on LinkedIn or putting your resume up on Indeed or Monster or ZipRecruiter or any one of those types of firms, or quite frankly working with a different recruiter? I mean, why should people work with the #1 drywall recruiting team in the entire country?
I think the question would be, why wouldn't you want to work with that, right? Like the question is not why, but it's why wouldn't you want to work with the top commercial drywall recruiting, commercial paint recruiting team in the country? One thing that that John and I do extremely well, there's actually a few things, and I'm not patting our back, but this is truly not only just what separates us from other recruiters within our own company, but I would say what separates us from recruiters nationally is that our communication with the clients that we work with, and the way that we present your background, the way that we storyboard it, the way that we accurately communicate exactly what it is that you're looking for and what you're doing. First off, we do that. Most recruiters, and when I say most, I'm talking over 90% of recruiters, in my opinion, when they get a marketable candidate, what they do is that they pretty much just send that resume out to their clients. They don't call their clients. They don't storyboard it. They don't, they won't tell a client why someone's moving from New Jersey to Florida. And so so all of a sudden this hiring authority in Florida is getting a resume from New Jersey. They're not going to even look at that person. It doesn't matter how good they are. They're like, why the hell would someone from New Jersey be moving to Florida? And so that recruiter's not even storyboarding it. Now, what we do is we get on the phone with that hiring authority. Most of the time, we're talking to the person who's writing the check. We're talking to the person who's actually the decision maker, not a decision maker, but the decision maker. And so we communicate all of those things to our clients for what you're looking for. Now, that might seem very minor, but I'll give a quick example here. I just placed I placed a high level commercial drywall estimator in a Pennsylvania market about 4 months ago. He was with the same company prior to that for probably 10 years, left that company, went to go join another company. Okay. And he was with this other company for about 3 or 4 months, and it was not working out. There was a number of reasons it was not working out. And he reached out to me. I actually tried to place him before he took this other opportunity, but it didn't work out. I was a little late to the game. But he reached out to me after working with this other company for 3 or 4 months and just said, Shaun, hey, things aren't working out. I need a better opportunity. So I brought up, I'll call the company ABC Drywall. It's not the real name of them, but I'll call them ABC Drywall. And this company was 20 minutes from his house. He's like, hey, another recruiter with another recruiting firm actually put my resume into that company, when I was first looking, probably six months ago. I said, okay, well, here's what happened. I called up the company. I verbally presented the candidate, told him the story, told him everything about this guy's background, and communicated everything accurately. And this company had no idea that they actually received this resume 6 months ago. And the guy's working there, and he got paid a buttload of money to go work there. And this recruiter did, they sent this unsolicited resume, but it didn't go anywhere. So that's why it's an advantage to work with people who are actually going to pick up the phone right here. I got my phone within distance, pick up the phone and talk to the hiring authority and actually have a conversation with them. Very important. Most recruiters.
And that's really what sets us apart. I mean, not that's a marketing end that sets us apart, but if you can only imagine, we work with high level individuals, project managers, estimators, superintendents, CEOs, CFOs, CXOs, chief estimators, on down the line, from all superintendents all the way up to owners of companies, people we're working with on a daily basis. These are the people that we have contact with on a daily basis. But the reality is that the industries that Shaun and I work in are extremely small. I mean, in relatively speaking, and they're tight knit. So every vendor, if they're any good, knows every single drywall metal stud framing company. So if they hear that Joe's looking for a job at XYZ Drywall, and they're talking to ABC Drywall, and they said, do you hear that such and so is looking for a job? And the owner of ABC Drywall knows the owner of XYZ Drywall, calls up the owner of XYZ Drywall and says, hey, I heard Joe was looking for a job from a vendor. Well, that's not what you want. You want to be the person to be able to walk into your boss and say, hey, I'm making a change. Well, here's the thing. That's what a recruiter will do. And the benefit is for the candidates on the candidate side is we keep your information confidential. Now I'll tell you what happens. You put your resume up on Indeed, and this happened to me, so this is why I know. What Indeed does is they market your background. All they take out is your name. That's it. They market your background to every single company that has to do with keywords that are in your resume. They email out your resume for the purpose of making money. And it costs the business owner, if they don't have an account with Indeed, it costs the business owner $250, $300, $400, $500. They write a check, they give it to Indeed. Indeed gives them the resume, and the resume now has your name exposed on it. Now, imagine that. With the way that drywall, metal stud framing, commercial painting companies are looking right now, if they see anybody with a pulse and with some good experience, they're going to go buy that resume really, really quickly rather than pay a recruiter. Your company is going to do that. Your company is going to do that. They're going to find out that you're looking, and you're going to have an uncomfortable conversation on Monday morning with your boss. And he's going to ask, why are you looking right now? And you're probably going to be found without a job. If you want to keep your information confidential, you don't want to put your resume up on Indeed. You don't want to put your resume up on Career Builder. You don't want to put your resume up on ZipRecruiter. Hell, you don't want to put your resume out in the public anyway. You don't want to do that. Instead, pick up the phone, call John Chisholm, 605-277-3729, call Shaun Bowen, 605-809-8512. Give us a call, pick up the phone, give us a call. We'll talk to you. We'll do an evaluation of your resume. But here's the key. We'll keep everything confidential. And when we're marketing your background, we'll market your background to places that make sense. Shaun, what do we look at? We look at what? Location. What else? I mean, as we talk to people, we're not going to
challenge, location, advancement, money.
Yeah.
Do they like the people they work with, and job security?
We're not going to market a person that's living in New Jersey. We're not going to send your resume down to Florida so that we get some sort of advantage out of it. And you're having a conversation with a company that you would never even consider to go working for.
Right.
We're not going to do that. And on the company end, we're not going to do the same. We're not going to do that either. Here's the thing. When
Johnny, hey, speaking of references, I got one calling me back, so I got to roll.
All right, I'm going to cut you off here quick. When we call a company, and when I pick up the phone and call a company, they answer the phone. Here's the reason why, because I don't waste their time. When I call up a company, and they see my phone number pop up, if they're not in a meeting, if they're not engaged with somebody else, they pick up the phone. If they don't pick up the phone, they call me back. Why? Because I bring them good candidates and I don't waste their time. I do the same thing on the candidate side. I'm not going to put you into a company and have an interview with a company that doesn't line up exactly with what you're looking for. I'm not going to waste your time. And if you're a drywall person who comes in and says, I want to go to work for a GC, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you, if you want to go to work for a GC, that's fine. I'm probably not going to be able to help you, because if you want the same amount of money that you're making right now as a drywall subcontractor, you have zero experience in the general contracting trade. I'm going to tell you, you're going to get the money that you want inside of the drywall subcontracting trade. The best thing I could do for you is find a general contractor that self-performs. But your best money is going to be there. Now, if you insist and you say, even if I have to go backwards in salary, which I rarely see, even if I have to go backwards in salary and get an entry-level person, a career at a general contracting firm, yeah, I can help you. I can help you with that. But my point being that I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to set you up and tell you that I can do something that I can't do. And if I can't help you within a specified period of time confidentially, I'm going to let you know so that you can go out and do your own efforts. But what I do for a candidate is I market your background. I take your resume, I take a conversation that I have with you, usually it's about 20-minute conversation where you make that resume come to life for me so I can make it come to life for a company and for a company that's hiring. and I market your background aggressively to companies that make sense in the location that you want, with the culture that you want, with the compensation that you want, that has the compensation has the right kind of insurance, it has the right kind of 401k, the right kind of benefits, the right kind of bonus structure. It's in a location that's close to where you want to drive to or where you want to relocate to, and it offers you the kind of career advancement that you want. Very rarely do I see somebody who wants to just stay in the same position for their entire career. They always want to grow. But some companies simply do not have growth opportunities. Some companies are so large that it takes you you have to work in the same position for 2 years before you're even considered for a higher position. But I work with many small and medium-sized companies where I am their HR. I am their person that is doing their recruiting, their talent acquisition for them. And they have the ability. Let's say you're an assistant project manager right now, but you've been working on some larger projects. You've done some solo projects that are larger, and you want to advance to a project manager, but you have another year and a half, 2 years before you can advance to that position and that pay. But yet you're working as hard as a project manager. Call me. I've got tons of companies that are looking for project managers. Let's say you're a project engineer. You're doing takeoffs right now. You're doing smaller takeoffs, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, even up to $1 million. You're working as a team, part of a team that's doing larger estimating. You're using on-screen takeoff and quick bid, and your goal, you want to become an estimator or you want to become a project manager. Call me. I've got plenty of small to mid-sized companies that will take you on and train you and grow you in your career objectives. But you can't do that with putting a resume on Indeed if you're a candidate. You can't do that by putting, but it's like putting lipstick on a pig. Okay, you can't do it. It's impossible. The other thing I want you to think about is how many. I know this answer to this question because if you saw my in-mail box, it drives my wife crazy. But I've got about 15,000 emails, and probably about 11,255 of those emails are all resumes from candidates that I keep for a certain amount of time. But 98% of those resumes that I receive on a week-by-week basis are garbage. There are people that are flipping burgers right now that want to be a project manager. There are IT project managers that want to be a construction project manager. So if I, being an individual, I have a lot of reach. So I do have a lot of reach. So I get a lot of emails. I get a lot of resumes. Because I've got a lot of reach. But imagine a company putting out job applications online where you can go apply online and throw up your resume to these companies. Number one, that's really time consuming. Number two, you're one of 10,000 resumes that are going into that company, and they're probably going to miss it. Why would you do that? Instead, send me a resume, John.Chisholm, CHISHAM at gogpack.com. It's right there below. Why not send me a resume? Let me review it, and I will personally, if you are qualified for the position that you're applying for, or if you have great qualifications and you're not qualified for the position, but you've got great qualifications for another position that I might be hiring for, why wouldn't you send me your resume and let me keep it confidential, and then let me market your background? Because I'm not going to put your resume in a pile of 1,000 other resumes. I'm going to market your background. I'm going to bring virtually. I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to call. I'm going to clear your background with the company. I'm going to make sure that the company is not currently interviewing, pursuing, or planning on pursuing you. I'm going to contact you, and I'm going to make sure, hey, this is a company that you want to work for. And then I'm going to take your resume virtually, and I'm going to walk it into the office of the person writing the check, the person that's doing the hiring. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call them. I'm going to storyboard you. I'm going to make sure that your background and experience looks great for this company. Going to give them your resume. I'm going to set up a time for them to have a phone interview for you. You know what? You're not going to get that by applying online to these companies. You're not going to get that by calling the HR and talking about you're not going to do it by going in and filling out an application, an online application, and slapping your resume out there. You're not going to get that service from Indeed. You're not going to get that service from ZipRecruiter or Career Builder. You're not going to get that service. What you're going to do, however, is if you send your resume to me for my review and submit to a phone pre-interview, 5 minutes on the phone with me is really all I need to know to make sure that you are who you say you are and you have the background and experience that I'm looking for. I can get you in front of companies that could be better than what you're doing right now. They could have better compensation. They could be a better location. They could have a better culture. They could have a better work-life balance. They could have better growth opportunities, growth trajectory, career trajectory, training opportunities. They could have better whatever, and you could live and you can grow in these companies. But you can't do that if you put your resume out on Indeed and just let caution fly to the wind, and you might lose your job as a result of it. You can't do that by applying online. It doesn't work, because you're just one of 10,000 resumes. Hell, if you're one of 1,000 resumes, one of 100 resumes, do you think these companies have the time to sift through and sort through these resumes? They don't. That's why they hire me. I do. So the moral of the story is if you're a drywall, metal stud framing, project manager, estimator, superintendent, or all the way up to CFO, CXO, if you're commercial paint, if you're industrial coatings, if you're waterproofing, concrete restoration, if you're civil, if you're any subcontractor, man, I got contacts with a lot of different companies. My team and I have the reach. I'm telling you, we have the reach to get out there. We have the horsepower to get you out there. HVAC all across the country, all across North America. Electrical all across North America. You want to call John Chisholm. Roofing all across North America. You want to call me, and I can get you in front of the right people right now that can get your resume in front of the right people right now. Okay, my team. We work with integrity, we work with honesty, we work with high urgency, and we work with aggressiveness. We will get you that job that you want. We will put you in contact with that company that you want to work for, or we'll tell you that we can't. It's just that quite simple. We'll be honest with you and tell you if we are going to be able to help you right off the bat. So at the end of the day, this is Tuesday Coffee Talk with Shaun and John. Shaun is off on another call. John also has another call here in just a couple of minutes that he needs to go make. But if you're a drywall, metal stud framing, Division 9, commercial painting, industrial coatings, you've got on-screen takeoff and quick bid, HVAC, electrical, roofing, sheet metal, plumbing. I can list them off. Civil. We are the company. I am the man. Give me a call, John Chisholm, 605-277-3729. Send your resume to John.Chisholm, CHISHAM @gogpack.com, or reach out to me on the social media that you're watching this on. You can reach out to me on YouTube. You can reach out to me on Twitter. You can reach out to me on Facebook. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Any of these things, you can reach out to me and ask, and I can help. Again, I'm John Chisholm. I am part of the #1 drywall team in the entire region of North America. And I'm hiring people that are local, that want full-time work, and that have good background, stable history, good tenure, and have a proven track record of success in their industry. I want you to give me a call today. If you have a motivation that you want to make a change, give me a call. I can help you out. Have a great